Imbecile is another word for idiot. We're not idiots. We only watch PBS.
Hello and welcome to This is Public Broadcasting. I'm your host, Captain Rutledge. So, WordGirl, where do we begin? Premiering on PBS in 2007, WordGirl features mild-mannered 11-year-old Becky Botsford and her pet monkey Bob. When villains attack the city, Becky and Bob transform into WordGirl and Captain Huggyface, taking on villains and offering lessons in vocabulary along the way. Since its premiere, WordGirl has garnered a bit of a fan following, especially regarding the series' host of villains. Similar to heroes like Batman or Spider-Man, WordGirl features a revolving rogues gallery. Looking at all the villains throughout the show's run, I figured it was about time to create a ranking video of all WordGirl villains. Of course, there are a few stipulations. Firstly, the villains must play significant roles in at least 2 episodes. So my apologies to fans of Rhyme and Reason and Miss Power. Secondly, sidekicks will not be making it onto the list. And thirdly, all villains will be ranked based on their score in the following categories. Concept. How creative are they? Do they stand out from the average run-of-the-mill type criminal? Powers. Do they have powers that aid in their crimes? Do their powers work well with their concept? Crimes. How maniacal are the crimes they commit? How creative are they? Relationships. How do they mesh with WordGirl and the other show villains? And appeal. Are they fun to watch? Each villain has a chance to earn up to 3 points in each category, for a possible total of 15 points. With that said, let's start at the bottom of the list.
So anyway, back to 1983 at Disney.
Well, we had to move some of the prisoners around. Meet your new cellmate.
Glenn Furlblam!
What's up, Doc?
At the bottom of the list is Glenn Furlblam.
Name is Dr. Three Brains.
Whatever. Originally introduced as Dr. Two Brain's biggest fan, Glenn thought he could improve on Two Brain's crimes, but instead just confused everybody involved. After being arrested, he escaped jail with the help of Dr. Two Brain's Darkness Ray, and tried to outdo Two Brains as Dr. Three Brains. Glenn has an okay concept, but he has no powers, his crimes are negligible at best, he doesn't mesh well with the other characters, and on the whole is pretty annoying. So, sorry Glenn, but you're on the bottom.
They just don't understand my genius.
I'm the Invisible Man. I'm the Invisible Man.
Invisibill graduated from the Coach's Villain School alongside his friend Big Left Hand Guy, and partners up with Big Left Hand Guy to commit robberies. Invisibill has very useful powers, but he's not as original as the other villains on the show, not to mention his voice and energy make him very tiresome to watch.
You know, sometimes I just feel so invisible.
Nokan is a fierce warrior from the land of Contraria. Being a contrarian, he regularly contradicts people, resulting in general confusion on his part and everybody else's. No Can is really not a true criminal since his clashes with WordGirl are usually just matters of misunderstandings. Of course, he has a decent design and concept, and I can definitely see the appeal for him.
We give up!
Ha! I have defeated the angry pixie warrior and her lemur friend! Back to my castle! No Can!
I'm reaching the end of my rope.
In spite of his name, Amazing Rope Guy really isn't that amazing. He doesn't have any powers, his crimes are easily foiled, and even when WordGirl is weakened by Lexinite, she still manages to bring him to justice. Nonetheless, his constant failures make him pretty entertaining to watch. As if there's a little bit of Amazing Rope Guy in all of us.
Oh! Oh!
Happy birthday!
Eileen, or the birthday girl, seems like a regular child, albeit she believes every day is her birthday. When things do not go her way, she grows into a giant, angry monster, causing chaos across the city. The only thing to bring her back down to size is an act of kindness or generosity. Honestly, I don't care a whole lot for Eileen. Sure, she has a decent concept and a creative power, but her interactions with other villains are practically nil, and her cutesy voice is absolutely grating.
Yeah, I learned my lesson.
No, you learned your lesson! Look!
Like I'm still waiting on that kid. I could have built a new one by now. I'm getting down, bro.
Big left hand guy. He's a guy. And he has a big left hand. He can hail a taxi. Yeah, not a whole lot to say about him, I'm afraid. Oh, he works with Invisibill. He was also one of the coach's students. Okay, I've got nothing else to add. Next.
Get it! You're back to Knox! Ah, marshmallows.
You want it? It's yours, my friend, as long as you have enough rubies.
Hal Hardbargain is the villain all villains go to for their villainous needs. Sure, he hasn't any real powers, but he does have a cool eye patch and robotic arm, and he knows practically every villain in town. Though sometimes he barely even counts as a villain, such as when he played informant to WordGirl on Dr. Two-Brain's schemes. Still, not too bad.
You gonna fix my Ray, or are you just gonna keep naming criminals?
Maybe this'll answer your question. The stick-up kid, Dr. Sisyphe, Cloudman.
Louise, shouldn't you just do a new project like you're supposed to?
Why?
To learn something?
You learned something.
Every school has that one kid who has to be the best at everything. In Becky's school, Victoria Best is that kid. Although she doesn't commit real crimes or interact with any other villains for the most part, her domineering parents and expert hypnotic recorder skills create havoc for everybody.
You won the trophy for Best Professional Bowler? The Nobel Prize for Physics?
I'm the best. That was an easy one.
The Emmy for Outstanding Writing and Animation?
If I may boast, I'm particularly proud of that one.
Do what you want, 'cause a pirate is free. You are a pirate.
Originally a waiter at a seafood buffet, Captain Tangent was fired from his job after telling way too many long-witted, meandering stories. Then, after coming upon old No-Beard's treasure, his fake hook becomes magnetized, his parrot speaks, and he's obsessed with collecting doubloons. Tangent has potential, but his 3 episodes do very little to make him a long-lasting staple villain.
Only later did I discover 'twasn't a mermaid at all, but a pile of seaweed. So, have either of ye ever wrestled an octopus?
Created after a ball of static electricity went haywire, the energy monster, or Maria as she likes to be called, scours the city devouring anything electrical so she can grow in size and power. Her interactions with Two Brains in Dinner or Consequences are a true gem, but her crimes only amount to not knowing any better, and needing the city's energy to survive.
There's a girl once in a movie named Maria. She was the prettiest one in the whole movie. I fell asleep though partway through.
I think Maria likes talking.
Everyone agreed there was nothing old or slow about Coach.
The coach started out as a motivational speaker, but a chance meeting with the Whammer showed the attraction of a life of crime. More specifically, putting together a sham villain school and forcing his villainous students to do his dirty work. Although the coach has no powers, his crimes are nonetheless diabolical and devious. Too bad he lost his villain school.
Oh, curse you, giant potato-powered robots! Wake me up before you go.
Originally a sidekick to the city's other villains, the Whammer soon became a solo villain, causing general mayhem in the city with his supersonic whams. Although he has the mindset of a child, he is nonetheless an okay villain to bring up the upper half of this list.
Whammer's whamming with these old-school Egyptian whammers! Wham!
Help control the pet population. Have your pets spayed or neutered. Good night, everybody!
Seymour Orlando Smooth is a self-obsessed crooked game show host. He uses his game show persona to scam contestants out of their money and valuables. When cornered by WordGirl and Captain Huggy Face, Seymour can stand his ground by using his extra-strength hair gel and specially formulated teeth whitener. Although these are not technically powers, he is still a good addition to the WordGirl Rogues gallery.
I won! Oh, yes, I won! WordGirl! You've escaped!
Yep, a couple of minutes ago. We just wanted to see you dance around like a goofball.
Would you please go look for a job?
Why?
Miss Question started out as another of the coach's original students, her main shtick being whatever she says is a question. Then, after failing to graduate the coach's villain school, she gets struck by lightning from a question mark-shaped cloud, gaining the ability to surf around on a question mark and shoot question marks from her chest, leaving people confused and questioning their situation. She has an interesting concept that plays well off of WordGirl and others, and definitely deserves being on the upper half of this list.
Why is everybody in such a hurry all the time? When's my snack break?
Why do I ask so many questions? Who am I? Is this poetic justice?
It sure is!
Give me a double chubby boy. And who's on the fryer tonight? Give me some fries, too.
Kid Potato is the butcher's father, and a great villain back in his day, using his potato-based powers to trap enemies and badger his son in joining him in a villainous duo. Although he's just an elderly version of the butcher with potato powers, there's no doubt that he has a great love for his son, and he scores a few bonus points for being voiced by the late, great Ed Asner.
What do you say, son? Be the meat of my potatoes? Yes or no?
Well, it's not that easy, see?
Yes or no?
Quit badgering me!
You really are the most surprising grand.
Granny may seem like a kind old lady, but on closer inspection she is a ruthless thief using her elderly charms to win people to her side, and her superpowered knitting needles, petrifying perf mints, or extra-strength perfume to get the best of WordGirl and Captain Huggy Face. To be honest, I haven't been Granny May's biggest fan, but she is a talented criminal, her gadgets suit her persona to a T, and somehow she's able to make the city forget she's a criminal after each episode ends. Excellent criminal mastermind.
Oh, I think I better put a kettle on.
What kind of robot are you? I know how much kumquats cost!
Theodore Toby McAllister III is a boy genius with an army of robots at his command. These robots can create art, cook dinner, play checkers, but mostly they are used for wanton destruction and trying to get WordGirl's attention. Toby isn't a criminal in the purest sense of the word, since his antics amount to little more than arson and destruction of public property, but he's fun to watch. His secret crush on WordGirl makes him all the more entertaining.
Like I realized that you and WordGirl are the same height, the same hairstyle and color, the same sparkling smile, the same ruby lips, the same... I realize I've said too much.
The Learnerer has a specialized high-tech suit to help him commit crimes, along with learning his nemesis' every moves to get away scot-free. The Learnerer has great style, amazing powers with his suit, and he's also voiced by Weird Al Yankovic. Definitely a topper in my book.
That may have worked once, but nothing works twice against the learner.
My name is Mr. Big.
Slight aside for a moment. You see, before WordGirl got her TV series, her adventures were shown in a series of short episodes called The Amazing Colossal Adventures of WordGirl. Great title. These shorts introduced several villainous mainstays to the series, like Granny May, Toby the Butcher, Chuck the Evil Sandwich-Making Guy, and Dr. Two Brains. When the WordGirl TV series premiered, viewers noticed a very mysterious masked man in the opening credits. Who was this mysterious man? We would have to wait until the 6th episode to find out, but the reveal was worth it. Mr. Big is a wealthy businessman and the CEO of Mr. Big Industries. His evil specialty is the use of mind control devices to sell his company's products or get his way in life, all while cuddling his favorite squishy bunny. Although Mr. Big has no powers himself, he is still a great concept for a villain, and his crimes are just as dastardly as anyone else's.
Oh, did I show you the Mr. Big action figure?
Sir, it's a doll.
It's an action figure!
The fact is, I'm just crackers about cheese.
Do you think you'll be #1 again, boss?
Of course! Haven't I been #1 on the supervillain countdown every week for 2 years?
It's our longtime #1, Dr. Two Brains, slipping down a notch.
You see, I won!
Dr. Stephen Boxleitner was originally a kind-hearted, if not distracted scientist, but after a freak accident with an evil lab mouse, the mouse's brain was fused to his own, giving him an evil longing for cheese and the new name of Dr. Two Brains. Two Brains is an obvious fan favorite in the series based on his tragic backstory and his interactions with his henchmen. But his crimes rarely wander outside the realm of cheese theft. Suffice it to say, it is just a hard fight for him to the top spot on this list, but Two Brains is nonetheless one of WordGirl's greatest villains.
Yes! Yes! I'm #1! I'm #1! Woo!
Oh boy, easy there, Doc.
Look, I make the sandwiches. Lots of sandwiches.
Chuck may appear to be a soft-spoken, sandwich-headed guy, but underneath his doughy exterior lies a man so obsessed with sandwiches he will stop at nothing to pursue his love of making sandwiches, even if he hadn't thoroughly thought through his plans. Chuck really shines with his relatability and passions, albeit his powers consist of mainly his sandwich-shaped head and condiment gun. Still, he is a great fun to watch in his struggles to create the world's greatest sandwiches and steal stuff.
Yay! I did it! I'm a hero!
A hero?
Very good, sir. Oh, by the way, I think you'll be needing this.
Thank you, Cody.
Beatrice Bixby was an employee at the city's copy shop who was jealous of her manager Dave. After pressing a mysterious red button on her favorite copy machine, Beatrice transformed into a villainess with the power to create copies of herself by pressing her nose. Lady Redundant Woman. Lady Redundant Woman is a great concept for a villain. Her shtick of constantly uttering redundancies fits well with both her powers and her crimes, plus she's very relatable as a character. Sometimes a few of us think we can do better than those in charge, but Lady Redundant Woman takes things a little too far. Still a great choice for runner-up.
Excuse me, do you sell stamps?
Yeah, and there's a machine over there by the pens.
Thanks.
Hi, what can I do for you?
Hello, this bank has a tonnage of money, and I am here to falsify it from you.
Falsify isn't a word.
Yeah, it is.
And you used tonnage wrong.
Really?
I believe what you're trying to say is this bank has a large amount of money, and I'm here to take it from you by force.
That's it. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Yep, funnily enough, the first villain WordGirl ever faced off against has earned the top spot in the rankings. The Butcher is a meat-themed villain who uses his meat-summoning powers to disable his adversaries as he commits crimes. Also, he more often than not butchers the English language.
Well, it's gonna be hard to prepolate when you're covered in...
Hold it. I'm gonna stop you there.
What I do now?
The word is preparation, not prepolate.
It's just, I love words, and I want to use them more rightly.
Oh, actually, it's not more rightly.
I was robbing this bank, right? And I asked the guy behind the counter for everything he's got and make it click. He hands me a bag of these.
Castanets? What kind of bank has a bag of...
Don't even get me started.
His crimes may be rather run-of-the-mill, but he has a great concept, a nice working relationship with WordGirl and his fellow villains, and truly deserves the top spot on the list.
Haven't you ever seen tofu before?
I don't see anything but some squishy-looking white stuff.
Yeah, tofu. Here, try some.
No, thanks. It looks like my stomach. See?
Whoa, no, stop. You're ruining my appetite.
And there you have it, folks. Every WordGirl villain ranked. Now, do you agree with my placements, or do you think I made a few errors in my scoring? Feel free to comment down below. And right now it's time once again for the PBS Member Station Spotlight, where we draw a new name out of the pretty straw hat. And this next one shall be... Well, what do you know? We're doing WQED Pittsburgh. WQED started out as the brainchild of Pittsburgh Mayor David Lawrence, who believed in allocating 12% of American TV stations for nonprofit educational programming. With funding from Pittsburgh plate glass company attorney Leland Hazard, Lawrence approached the FCC for a license for the new station. Westinghouse Electric already approached the FCC for a license in Pittsburgh and offered to share their new channel, but Leland Hazard rejected the idea. In the end, Westinghouse offered to fund the public television station, even throwing in a broadcast tower. In 1954, WQED finally made its way into the Pittsburgh television market. Originally, WQED was affiliated with the National Educational Television Network and briefly worked with the NTA Film Network before joining the Public Broadcasting Service in 1970. The station began to supply programming to PBS during this time, including the popular children's series Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood and several National Geographic television specials. WQED also had a post-production office in Los Angeles for a time, named QED West. Come the 1990s, WQED, like other PBS stations across the country, began to falter. Matters not helped by a scandal involving several station executives augmenting their income. In 1999, auxiliary station WQEX was sold off and joined with shopping networks in order to raise revenue for WQED. In 2010, WQEX was sold to the Ion Television Network, providing revenue to help WQED pay off a few of its debts. Programming for WQED includes local programs such as Black Horizons and QED Cooks, along with nationally broadcast programs like the Carmen Sandiego game shows, Doo-Wop 50, The War That Made America, and The Infinite Voyage. Its most famous program, however, is Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, hosted by Fred Rogers and aired for 33 years on PBS. The studio where the neighborhood was filmed at WQED is now known as the Fred Rogers Studio, which served as a filming location for the 2019 film A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. In addition to Fred Rogers, other famous faces who have worked at WQED include Michael Keaton and Ming-Na Wen, both of whom worked for Fred Rogers, along with special program hosts like Carol Burnett, Ed Asner, Patricia Neal, Julie Andrews, and Bill Bixby. Today, WQED provides PBS programming for the Pittsburgh television market, including portions of Maryland, West Virginia, and Ohio. If you are in the Pittsburgh area, you can tune in to WQED on Virtual Channel 13 or VHF Digital Channel 4. With Create on the .2 channel, World on the .3 channel, WQED Showcase on the .4 channel, and PBS Kids on the .5 channel. Thank you to everyone for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, feel free to like, subscribe, and share, ring the bell, follow on Twitter. Also, don't forget to support your local PBS stations, so more programming related to WordGirl can find its way to your television screens. And until next time, I'm Captain Rutledge. Good day.
That's right. Robust means to be really strong and healthy. Congratulations, Huggy.